From the days of ET and TMZ to the modern flood of the drama YouTube channel, spreading gossip seems to be America's favorite pastime. It's no secret that while we can all admit to enjoying a little bit of scandal here and there, the drama industry is a corrupt one. Invasions of privacy, rumors and lies, and shady dealings are par for the course, with journalists and influencers willing to air out anyone's dirty laundry for a quick buck. But this isn't new. Believe it or not, the consumption of drama as entertainment didn't begin with Keemstar.
Fast as fuck, boy.
One of the earliest relics of the drama tabloid was StickyDrama.com, a teen news reporting site which not only targeted and harassed minors but was involved in multiple huge scandals and shady controversies. Let's talk about Sticky Drama, one of the world's first and worst drama websites. The 2000s internet was a rough place. Culture at the time revolved around one thing: being edgy. And I guess Blackberries or whatever. From YouTube to the Wild West of MySpace, kids grew up subjected to anti-gay rhetoric, shock sites, offensive caricatures, and slurs abound, all in the name of edgy humor for the lols. Nothing epitomizes this more than StickyDrama.com, an early drama news website in the same vein as Perez Hilton or TMZ. The site launched in 2007 and was run by the then 30-year-old Chris, a failed pornographer who reported on a number of disturbing topics with a smug and gleeful tone. I know I gave a trigger warning at the start, but I'm gonna give another one because the stuff on this site is really bad. We're talking articles on suicide, sexual assault, leaked nudes, and more, all revolving around teenagers, most of whom were underage. The site frequently hurled abuse at these underage victims, calling them names and slurs, and the comments on the articles were equally vile. If you need any further indication of the journalistic integrity of this site, here are some of the topics that the articles were listed under. Like I said, it's bad, so be warned. This video is going to be a rough one. Before we talk about StickyDrama.com, we first have to talk about Stickem.com. Stickem.com was one of, if not the earliest live streaming platform, launching in 2005, years before Twitch, Omegle, or I don't know, Justin TV? What? Stickem was basically a cross between MySpace and Twitch, deriving its name from the ability to embed, aka stick, the live streams onto other websites. It was touted as being for creatives and musicians, but scene kids flocked to the platform with their Dell Inspiron webcams and began to pour their hearts out to strangers on the internet. MySpace and Stickem were places much like today's Instagram and TikTok, where teenagers felt like they could be themselves and make friends with similar interests and similar webcam qualities. But as I'm sure we all know, the internet has its dangers, especially for vulnerable kids. Stickem got into its fair share of controversy. Being one of the earliest live streaming platforms meant that it was the guinea pig, with none of the rules and guidelines and safety that modern streaming platforms have. It was basically Lord of the Flies, but with stripy-haired teenagers. The site became a haven for predators, with many creepy older men joining teenagers' Stickem streams to ask them to expose themselves or divulge personal information. Sticky Drama, of course, reported on all of these disturbing occurrences with a gleeful tone, often calling the victims cruel names and encouraging users to harass them rather than get them off the clearly unsafe site. Sticky Drama was basically a cross between TMZ and a lolcow forum. They reported on news, but their main targets were a select number of Stickem users who got into enough controversy to be bullied about it. StickyDrama.com also had a sister site, StickyNudes.com, which would post all the leaked photos and Stickem streams containing nudes, which, may I remind you, were primarily taken by actual children. It's completely unbelievable that either site remained up due to the penchant for harassing, doxing, and leaking the nudes of minors, but the site would go on to cause its fair share of trouble before its turbulent shutdown. Sticky Drama's first and biggest target was a Stickem user called Kiki Cannibal. Before she made it big on Stickem, Kiki had been a target of a vicious campaign of harassment on MySpace. After having to move towns when the online harassment led to her being physically assaulted and stalked, Kiki made a Stickem account which blew up and once again made her an e-celebrity. However, while Kiki was growing in notoriety, Sticky Drama was writing pages and pages about her, condemning her for being promiscuous and a whore in a horrifying case of victim blaming. Things reached a breaking point when Daniel Cespedes, a 19-year-old who had sexually assaulted and groomed her at age 14, was arrested at Aventura Mall, where he made an escape from police by jumping over a 4-foot railing to his death. Sticky Drama reported on this event in an article titled MySpace Murder Mystery, where they published a real-life photo of his dead body in a coffin and blamed Kiki Cannibal for, quote, cooperating or plotting with the police as revenge for Danny dumping her. The reality of the situation, of course, was Kiki was just a traumatized child who had done everything in her power to put her past and Daniel behind her, and obviously had nothing to do with the death of the pedophile. This article, however, would spur on a new wave of hate, death threats, and stalking, with Stickam users blaming Kiki for the death of Danny, aka Mr. MySpace. Kiki's mother tried to take legal action against Sticky Drama and Chris, but the more the family pushed back, the more malicious and obsessive Chris's posts became, continuing to torment the teenager with creepy, predatory, and exploitative articles. Through a vicious campaign of harassment directed at a young, traumatized girl, Chris had broken Kiki and her family. However, after getting away with the harassment of Kiki, he would continue to push the envelope with his next target, eventually leading to the shutdown of the site. Sticky Drama's most controversial target went by the username Jesse Slaughter, though now goes by the name Damien. Damien was only 11 when they were the target of a campaign of harassment after an anonymous user on Sticky Drama made a post which alleged they had slept with the 25-year-old singer of the band Blood on the Dance Floor. Because of this relentless harassment, both online and in real life, Damien posted an infamous video crying on camera with their father in the background ranting quotable lines such as "You done goofed" and "Consequences will never be the same."
Okay, you guys, this is Jesse Slaughter, and
you know
I just wanted to say that you guys have ruined my life. First,
I'm going to tell you right now, this is from her father, and I know who it's coming from because I back traced it, and I know who's emailing and who's doing it, and you've been reported to the cyber police and the state police. And if you come near my daughter, guess what? Consequences will never be the same, because you done goofed.
Needless to say, due to the abundance of memeable lines, the video skyrocketed in popularity, and the harassment against Damien increased to the point where they had to be put into police protection. This was around the same time that an article published by Gawker revealed the true identity of Chris. He'd previously been anonymously known as Sticky, but with this newfound publicity and the heavy police involvement in the Jesse Slaughter case, he deleted a year's worth of tweets and hurriedly tried to auction the site off for $25,000. The site didn't sell and went offline in 2010, and while it would return 5 years later, it had lost its entire user base. Though Sticky Drama quickly fell into irrelevance after this, there's one more big scandal on the website that's worth mentioning. Chris launched StickyDrama.com as a place to, as one write-up put it, quell his insatiable, shameless need to gawk at human conflict and suffering. But even after groundbreaking articles such as Destroy the Midget and Fetus Aborted, his thirst for drama wasn't quenched. His mysteriously large amount of wealth combined with his love of reality TV inspired him to create one of the world's first internet reality shows. Unsurprisingly, Chris's idea to bring all of the hot messes of Stickum together and supply them with free rent, free food, and as much drugs and alcohol as they wanted didn't turn out so great. According to an email sent by her mother, Chris repeatedly asked Kiki Cannibal to move into the Sticky house, even after months of disgusting articles which harassed and objectified her. With Kiki off the table, Chris set his sights on the next best thing, Amor Hilton, a scene princess who was another frequent target of Sticky Drama. Amor was a complicated and problematic figure. She repeatedly defended her ex-boyfriend, John Hawk, who was a convicted rapist. He live-streamed the on-camera assault of an unconscious woman on Stickum in one of the site's most disturbing and high-profile controversies, which, unsurprisingly, Sticky Drama leached off of for gross drama articles.
People are always asking me, so you think that it's okay what he did to that girl and blah blah blah, and no, I don't necessarily think that it's okay what he did to that girl. But it was his girlfriend at the time, and as his ex-fiance, I know that he's done, you know, other things.
Amor also had many cheating allegations against her and was notorious for her drug and alcohol-fueled ramblings on Stickum streams. To Chris, she was prime material for the Sticky House and agreed to join among other semi-popular Stickum users. Chris's first post about the Sticky House was on the 10th of February in 2009, titled Sticky House, Downtown LA. Sticky House, a real world of Stickum users, will begin webcasting sometime this summer on the 11th floor of the Rowan building at West 5th and Spring Streets in downtown LA. stay. The post would go on to detail the luxurious loft apartment that residents would be staying in, though some articles claim this apartment was just Chris's house. The reception from Sticky Drama users was mixed. Some thought the idea was a stroke of genius and would be the next big thing, while others thought that watching a bunch of teenagers hang around in a fancy apartment all day would be a pointless waste of money. Still, Chris persevered, and on April 11th, Amor Hilton uploaded a short video to her YouTube channel which depicted herself and Chris wrapping up after a photo shoot in the barren Sticky House loft. A month after this, on the 18th of May, Chris posted an article to Sticky Drama where he discussed some drama at the house between Amor and her boyfriend. However, the most interesting part of this post is the light that it sheds on the development of the Sticky House. Quote, "Sticky House is still in development hell. Stickm's API is not equipped to handle the simultaneous streaming of multiple cameras, but drama waits for no one, especially when you live with Amor Hilton." Though now lost to time, the Sticky House streams did go ahead and were displayed on the front page of StickyDrama.com. While the streams are pretty much unsalvageable, there are traces of content here and there. The article on Sticky Drama about Amor Hilton cheating on her boyfriend has camera footage from outside the house, as well as grainy screenshots of her in the Sticky House bedroom. There's also a collection of videos filmed by both Amor and her friend Eden, which show brief glimpses into the Sticky House. Most of these are just grainy, minute-long clips of random banter filmed on a Nokia, though one series titled The IRL World was more of a sketch show with Amor playing an overblown parody of herself. However, not everything was as fun as it may have seemed. Many of the videos that Amor and her friends uploaded during this time were concerning, featuring heavy drinking and drug use. After deciding to leave the Sticky House in July of 2009, Amor wrote, "I'd pop a pill, do the shoot, pop a pill, do the shoot, pop a pill, do an interview, pop a pill, do laundry. I became sober in mid-May, and that's when everything hit rock bottom and everything started to change. In my sober mind, I could just see everyone for who they really were. I realized I had no more money left in my account. I was 93 pounds and I was on the verge of dying because no more food would digest in my system without pills that I needed to have, but unfortunately I don't have medical insurance. So I was slowly just feeling my body give up on me on the 11th floor at the Rowan building in downtown. Every day became slower and slower. One day felt like 10. I also became severely depressed, which led me to cry a lot. With no privacy, they'd zoom the camera up on me as I genuinely sobbed. At that point, I didn't care anymore. The whole world saw Amor Hilton crumble into pieces. My weight continued to drop and my health continued to fail, with sleep deprivation, withdrawals, stress, depression, and most of all, the most unsuspected feeling, loneliness." While Amor was very problematic herself and should be criticized for her actions, this post paints a picture of how Chris manipulated and exploited her. He lured her into the Sticky House with the promise of a free place to stay and profited off of every intimate detail of her private life, from embarrassing invasive photos to articles about her rumored pregnancy and subsequent miscarriage. The Sticky House crew had no concern about her deteriorating physical and mental health and saw only to profit off of humiliating and using her. It's also worth noting that Chris openly posted about flying college-age boys out to LA to stay at the Sticky House in exchange for sex, leading many to label him as a creep and a predator. After Amor's departure from the Sticky House, her roommates followed suit, posting their goodbyes on Twitter. There's no record of any posts that cover the end of the live streaming show, but it's assumed that it either fizzled out by itself or was ended by Chris himself after his damage control incident in 2010. Regardless, in 2013, while StickyDrama.com was inactive, Stickum permanently shut down due to its core audience growing up and becoming disinterested in the community. With this final blow, StickyDrama.com went dormant. While StickyDrama.com is a shell of its former self, having purged 90% of its articles and posts, the damage it has caused will last forever. The website negatively impacted the lives of not one, not two, but 3 teenagers through vicious harassment and manipulation, not to mention the countless others that they attacked. Chris would claim over and over that these kids should be taken off Stickum or banned from being online, but would continue to milk them for clicks and views in the most exploitative and lecherous way possible. It's extremely clear that many of the kids and teenagers on Stickum were in very unsafe online environments and were generally unaware of how predators were manipulating and pressuring them to do inappropriate things on stream. When the naive streamers caved in, Sticky Drama would swoop in, humiliating them and causing waves of hatred and harassment to be sent their way. This cycle would continue, resulting in dire consequences such as doxing, death threats, and stalking. And this isn't meant to be rumor spreading or slander or bullying, because I know Chris has filed his fair share of takedowns and lawsuits. This is all backed up by countless countless photos, screenshots, and articles which are freely available on his public website. Also, just as a side note, it's hilarious to me that Chris has filed like lawsuits for defamation or slander in the past, considering his entire career. Sticky muses like Kiki and Damien had their lives effectively ruined before they even turned 18 for no other reason than they were naive kids on the early internet who were taken advantage of. While they did say and do some inappropriate things, they were very young children who were being influenced by both the internet culture at the time and the adults around them, most of whom had bad intentions. Ultimately, most of the main targets of Sticky Drama managed to move on, though it's clear that their experiences on the early internet permanently scarred them, with users like Kiki and Damien speaking candidly about the lasting damage that it had on their psyche. StickyDrama.com shut down in 2010 but would be revamped and brought back online in 2015, though at this point the once bustling site was an irrelevant ghost town. There are only 14 articles on the site posted from 2015 to 2020, though it appears that Chris is trying to revive the site and his YouTube channel by extensively covering the Jeffree Star and DeVee Vanity cases. These articles and videos get barely any views or comments, and considering his frankly disturbing way of discussing sensitive issues, I don't exactly think that Sticky Drama is gonna flourish in the new digital age. In the end, I couldn't be more glad that the site is irrelevant these days. It was a hub of bullying, harassment, leaked nudes, and shocking victim-blaming content which targeted vulnerable kids who didn't know better. While the site did out some genuine pedophiles and predators, which is good, it also threw underage victims under the bus, which was very, very bad. It's clear that nowadays Chris holds very anti-SJW freedom of speech views, and that's fine. He's gonna keep making content as if it's 2010, and the rest of us will move on with the times. Whatever he ends up doing in the future, it's undeniable that Chris and the users of Sticky Drama created one of the most toxic communities out there, which permanently scarred the lives of multiple teenagers and influenced the internet culture at the time. A culture that, frankly, I'm glad we're leaving in the past. Thank you so much for watching, I really appreciate it. Once again, really sorry for my voice. I'm recovering from a slight cold, so I'm really sorry if that was annoying. But aside from that, yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!